Hello guys, welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Bonaventure Chukudi. I'm the founder of Bonaventure Tech Hub, a tech company that teaches people how to code and build software for clients. So today we'll be completing the first website we built using HTML by adding CSS to it. So the website actually is we're trying to imitate this website, trying to imitate this landing page. Okay, and we have already done it. These are our markup. Already added the markup to it. Already added the markup to it. So the next is to add the CSS. Now to add our CSS, we'll begin by linking by creating a new CSS file. Let's call it our our art our art.css. Okay. So this is it. Let's link it with our index.html. So like this link, a link. So it's not CSS style.css. So the name is actually um our art.css. Now, first of all, we're going to take in, if you notice, the trombone logo and these are on the same pad. And if you notice, if we scroll like this, it still stays there. So, first of all, let's take the trombone. Let's select it. We can, select our nav. We can give it a class name. See, we have a nav. Let's analyze this. So we have a nav. This is our nav inside the header. We have we have a div. So we have a nav and a div inside a header. Now the nav and the div. This is the nav. This is the nav inside. This is the nav. Understand? The top one is the nav. This handcrafted stuff here is the second div. Now we're going to select this nav here. Select the nav. Now we're going to take the nav. You can select it with nav or give it a class name. You can take the nav. Now there's something called flex. Flex is a kind of it makes CSS easy. It makes making the web page. It makes building a web page very easy. Now, first of all, to make it look like this, we're going to reduce the size of this logo here. We come over here we can add a width, straight width of let's add a width of 200 and a height of 100 and save. Once we save, you notice it becomes smaller, right? No, we can add a style like this. Object fit of cover like this. Once you save, it looks better. Okay, so we can put contain and save. It looks better, as you can see. Let's see. Yeah, it looks better. So you can actually increase this. You can actually remove this. Let's remove and see how it looks. Doesn't look nice. So we can sorry, what's this? We can take these away and bring this above. So let's give it a width of let's remove the height and see what's going to happen. It won't remove. Oh, I don't know why, but let's do it this way. So this is it. It doesn't do anything special. So let's add a height of 50 and see. It still looks the same. A width of let's add objectives of fill and see. See it looks better now. It might not be like the original one because you don't have the original design. So and we can even reduce this to 150. Let's see. It doesn't look very nice. So 300. I'm trying to get the proper proportion. 300, 100. Let's see if we get it close. Let's make it a cover and see. Okay, so it seems we have to reduce this to 100 and see, and then 400, 500. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't. 300. Now let's inspect to see the original size. Now we can actually do that using our web page. Go to developer tools. Let's inspect the page to know the exact styling they use, the exact size they use for this image. So this is our page wrapper. This is the header, right? Header we have a div logo. The div, if you notice, the div is the logo, right? This logo. So this is the styling. It was given. This is the styling it was used. It was given this styling. So they took the logo and gave it the styling like this. So look at what was applied to it. This is the style that was applied to it. So first of all, we select the image. Okay. So let's select the image. This is the image. Let's give it a class of logo, right? Just like them. And then we come over here and let's just select the class logo and select the image directly inside the logo. And give it a width of 100%. Let's see. This is the width, right, of 100%. Can give it a maximum width of 300 pixels. Can give it a height of 100%. See, it's taking shape. Now, once we've done that, you can give it a display of flex like they have done. Now, when you want to add flex, like I told you, you use display flex. So you've added flex to this. You justify it to the center. Let's see. Justify it to the center. Align it. Align the items. Justify content center. You can make it justify content. See the options here. Baseline, first, flex end, right? It is space around. Okay, we're going to try it out, but we're going to use center for now. Then align item, let's use center. So if you look at it, we've gotten the original design they used, right? This is the original design they used. So we can before you start doing anything on your website, make sure you've added these stylings. You select every element using the star. Add the box sizing of border box. Then you select the body. You select the body and the HTML, the body or the HTML like this, and set a margin of 0 to it. Your website will look a little bit cleaner. Now, having done this, I don't know where the other mark. Okay, this is it. Having done this, now let's style our nav. This is the div, right? This is our nav, right? This is our nav. Now let's select the nav here. So we're going to take our nav, give it a display of flex. And once you give it a display of flex, it moves like this, as you can see, right? Now, we're going to give it a display or a justify content of space around to move it this way. You can see, right? That's, if you notice, it's similar to this. Give it a space around, it looks like this. Now, aside from space around, you can use space between. See, when you use space between, look at it different. Now, you can use center. etc. You can use center. You can use right. You can see comes to the center. You can use flex start or flex end. Let's use flex end. It looks like this. You can see right, and so on and so forth. Flex start is the default. Flex start. And see if it comes to this other side, right? Adjust it. Now we're going to just use space around. Now we're going to give it a padding. Remember, we have shortcut for this. So this is like the horizontal. The first one is the horizontal. The second one is the vertical. Is if you set it to one, it's going to the first one is the vertical, the second one is the horizontal. Save it like this, it's going to look like this, right? So this is theirs. It looks like theirs, right? Now, we can decide to just add only one rem to all of them like this. So I think it's better this way. Now, we can select this other div. Select this other div here, which is this second one here. Can give it a links. Class of links. Now we can actually select these links like this. Select these links and notice the links is this container, right? We can still use the same display flex. See, comes closer, removes every padding in it. Now we can add a justify content of center. It comes to the center, right? We are not going to do that. We're going to use space around. Did it work? Space around. Now we're going to add space around and just add a border to know how big it is. Border 1 pixel solid red. This is the border, right? So the space, it doesn't really space it. So we can just add a gap. If you want to easily add gaps in a flex, in the display flex, so you can use gap. So let's add gap of 1 rem to each side. You see, it looks this way. Gap of 1 rem. This is what we've done, right? And let's remove this and then remove the space around. We don't need it now. We can actually take every element, every anchor inside the links like this. Links anchor. We can add a text decoration of none to remove the underline in it. So you see, the text decoration of dot dashed is just what it is now. See, text decoration of dash is what it is, and text decoration of dotted. What's the problem? Okay, let's see. We have a program here. Let's add font color. Let's add a color of red to it. It applies. Understand that? So if you add text decoration of dotted, it's supposed to get it dotted, but it's not working. Why? Okay. Now this is the link, right? Let's make it specific. Let's make it specific. We have text decoration dotted. It doesn't really work. Why? Now let's take our anchor. Let's select all the anchor in the web page and add a text decoration of dotted. It still doesn't work. Why? So by default, text decoration of in an anchor can either be underlined or solid like this. It doesn't really work. Wow. So this is our anchor. This is it, and it doesn't take the text decoration. So it will work in your computer, but I'm going to set the text decoration to none. So you can try it in your computer to test if it's going to work properly. So and you can remove the color. Now we can actually style this. Change. Okay, let's add a color of black. We can add a color of black, right? Make it black. It is now black. And even increase the font size. font size of 1.1 rem can do that. Now, there's something again. If you notice, when we click on the features, doesn't do anything special. It's supposed to push it down to where it is supposed to be. So we're going to go over to, I think I forgot to do that. Go over to this area and do what we're supposed to do. In the main, the first section should be should have an ID of features, right? Have an ID of features. Should have an ID of features. So that once you click on features, it should take you to the part here. Now because we've set the links to hash of features, ID of features. Now we can do for how it works. We can take this and set it as our ID of how it works. How it works. So the next one is the pricing. Set it an ID of pricing. So here, now we have this, right? Once you click on here, it should take you to the pricing, to the how it works. Take us to pricing, etc. Now we can set. If you notice, there's no styling here. We can actually set it when it is hovered on, when your mouse goes on top of it. Now you can do hover. Select it like this, hover. Notice the semicolon here. You can say once you hover on it, let the background color change to red. Let's say you hover. You can notice that I hover. So, but we are not going to use hover in this case. So we are going to use when an anchor is clicked. So we use active. Once it is clicked, it use active for that. So we want a situation when after clicking it, the color should be let's make it yellow so that we know we've clicked on it. So if we click and then go back, it should be yellow. But because we're on the same page, it won't really show that. So that is just the thing. Okay, we can actually use I think click. Um, we have click, right? Um, should be click. Should be active. I meant to say so. This is what it's supposed to be. Now, we have done this, right? It looks the same. But if you notice, there is a slight color here, something like ash color. So we can come to the body and give it a background color of gray, color of gray, like this. Let's see if it looks close. It doesn't. It looks, but not very well. So we can toggle it, hover on this, and then toggle on this to see if we can get the actual color. I think we've tried to get it properly. We've not gotten it, so we move it a bit. Let's see if we've gotten it. We have. So this is it, and we've gotten the top page. We have this now. But one thing again, if you notice when we scroll, it doesn't really scroll like it should. But if you scroll here, it stays there. The reason is because the nav has a position of absolute, not absolute, a position of fixed. So this is it, right? Has a position of fixed, so that when you scroll it, it remains on just one position, fixed. Position fixed. You see, position fixed. Now, since it is position fixed, we can add a top of whatever we want, but we're not going to use top. So we're going to use right of 0. It moves to the right, 0. Then we're going to have a left of 0. So it should move it to the left and right like it is before, like it were before. So this is it, right? And we can, you notice, it has a background color of its own. So we can come over here and give it a background color of this same color. Now, if you don't want to be replicating these colors all the time, like you want to write a background color, you come over here, you see we've gotten it. So let's give it a but there's a mistake here. It's showing, so we can give it a top of zero, a top of 0, so that we can you notice. So if when you're doing this, it doesn't really show. Now, but if you notice something, we are trying to we are replicating this color two times, which is not good. So we are going to use something called variables. And to set variables, CSS variables for this website, we're going to add root like this way, root. Then inside here we can set color. We can just put dash dash color hash one, whatever you want to call it. Then we can copy this color, this one, and paste here. And instead of using color direct, this color, writing it here, I'm going to make use of this color here by doing var, standing for variable, then dash dash color hash one. Once you save, it's still going to work. If you change this to red, move it to red, it's going to work. Now, this is used. Let's say you want to have this same color in different places. You don't have to be doing one like this. You can just use the var and just do color hash one. So if you save, it appears everywhere. So let's just go back to the color we had. I think it's 241, 241, 241. That is the color we had initially. 241, 241. So this is the color we had initially. Now, once you hover, but something is missing, right? There's something that was supposed to be here, which is handcrafted. Now, because we have added padding, a display of a position of fixed, we need to add styling to this page here, this section page here, not here. This we need to add styling to this page, to this one. So we can give it a class of header text. So we can copy head, we can take header text and select it here, come over here, select header, header, um, header text like this. So we can give it a margin or a padding top. Let's use padding. A padding top of, let's say, 4 rem, and save. It moves it to the bottom. It doesn't. It's not enough. Let's make it 10 rem. Did it work? It didn't work. Let's make it, let's give it a border of 1 pixel solid red to see what the problem is. So header text, and the header text, we pronounced we spelled it wrongly. So header text, and we have this, right? So let's go back and use our 4 rem. The 4 rem work properly. Let's see. It did. So we can increase it to 5 rem. But if you notice something, the handcrafted is in the center here, right? And is a bit smaller. So we are going to select this H1 here. So to select it, we can use the header text to make sure we are selecting the proper H1. So you can say header text, then every H1 or the first H1 in header text can give it a font size, of 1 rem. If you see, it becomes smaller. So let's use 1.5 rem. I think it's better like this. Or 2 rem. I think this is better, right? I think it's better. Now we're going to add a font weight to it to make it a bit lighter. A font weight of, let's use 500, and save. It becomes lighter, right? But if you notice, this is in the center, everything is in the center. So we're going to use in this header text, let's remove the border. Okay, we can just keep it. In this header text, you can add a text and line of center. it pushes everything to the center, as you can see, right? Pushes everything to the center. Now we are going to remove the border, and we are good. This is it, right? We are almost getting there. Now the input here, we have our form, so we can select our form using form or give it a class. Let's use form and select the first input inside there, this first input and this second input, which is this. Now we can take this form, and give it, we can take this form and give it a display of flex if we want, a display of flex if we want to, but it pushes it to this side. Now we can use flex direction, column reverse, etc. We use column, it becomes this way. Now we can give it a width of fit content or mass content. Fit content. Let's see, max content. It doesn't really work as it should. So what we do is to leave it, remove it, keep it this way. Now we are going to select the form and every input in the form, which includes this and this button. Give it a width of fit content. Let's see. It fits it. Can you see? Let's see. Let's use mass content so you see something. Mass content. It works very well. So I'm going to use fit content. Now we are going to take this and center it. This display flex. Going to do justify content center to place it in the center. In the center here. Now we're going to give it a. It doesn't work. Now the reason is because normally when you do display flex and the justify content, it's supposed to come to the center like this, understand? But if you add the column, it gets stacked instead of from left to right, it gets stacked from top to bottom. Now when you do justify content, it's supposed to go to the center horizontally, but this time around it won't. It's going to get to center vertically instead. When you add a flex column, instead of doing justify content center, you can do align items center. It comes to the center like this. Now we can add a gap. We can add a gap of 1 rem. It looks similar to theirs, right? That's it. You can add a 1 rem, or let's reduce it to 0.7 rem. I think this is better. Now we can select the first rem, the first input specifically. You can select the first input specifically and add some styling, but we are not going to do that now. We are going to first of all to the both inputs, you can add a padding of, let's say, 0.5 rem, let's say 1 rem up and down, and then 0.5 rem left and right, and see if this is it doesn't look nice. So you can use 0.5 rem for the up and down, and then 1 rem for the left and right. This looks better, right? It looks better. Now we're going to keep it this way. Now the input, the first input, we're going to select first input, first child, or first of type. Let's use first of type. Now we can add a width of 100% to it like this, but add a maximum width of 300 pixels. It matches what they have here, right? Now the second input, we can actually select using a class. We can add a class here. So let's do it so you know we can do that. Class, call it second input. You can select the second input like this. Now the second input, you can select it using a class, or we can even use this selection, CSS selection for it. You can add a color of yellow. It doesn't work very well. Let's use background color instead, not color. Background color of yellow, and we have this. It doesn't match that. Okay, it does. And give it a color, a font weight or a font size to make it bigger. A font size of 1.2 rem. It becomes bigger. Then we add a font weight of 500 and save. Okay, it doesn't work very well. 600 and save. It works properly now. Now there is a border here, but there is no border here. Understand that? So let's add, and the color is a bit darker. So let's make it a bit darker. We can come over here and see if we can make it a bit darker like this. Now, but because we don't want to, I don't want to be restyling this, you can come over here, copy this. So we have color ash one. So we can have dash dash color yellow one or whatever. And then so we can come over down to this place, and then instead of writing this, you can use var dash dash color yellow one. It's going to work properly. Now, if you notice, there's no border there, so we can use border. You can use border to set 1 pixel solid of var, then color yellow one. We can do this. Understand? We can actually do this if we want, or we can put a border of none, and it still does the same thing. Now, if you notice, when you hover on this, it gives you this kind of hand something touching it also. Now, we can actually put something called hover. Now, instead of selecting, you can actually do second input, you do hover, right? Once you hover on it, you want to set a cursor of pointer. There are a lot of cursor here. Let's try it. There are a lot of cursor. You can, alias. Let's see how it looks. See how it looks like. It gives this link stuff. Now we can use. There's a cursor of all scroll. Let's see. Like everything is scrolling. You can see it in some website. You can use a cursor of auto. It just set it to auto. You can use cell etc. You can use cell like this. Now, but we're going to make use of pointer. Save. There are a lot of cursor you can exploit using control, and once you go to your cursor and press control and space bar, you get the option. So you see, this is it. Now we've gotten it right. Now the next thing to do is to move add a padding under here. So we can come over here to this first, to the container itself, which is not nav. It's supposed to be header. You notice header is the main container of this whole thing. Header. After header, we now get to main, where we now talk about this other one. Now we can take this header and give it a padding bottom of, let's say, 4 rem. It pushes it down just like this. Okay. Now let's advance to let's advance to here, now we have our main. This is the first div, right? Now we're going to give this a class of card. Let's copy this and give it to each section inside here. A class of card, each section that contains each card. Now we're going to make it look this way. Now, to make it look that way, first of all, we take our card. If you see, when you make it bigger, it looks like this. We take our card, each card, and make it a display. Let's give it a border so we know what we're doing. A border of um a border of 1 pixel solid red. You see, this is the border, right? Let's first of all give space in between. Margin bottom of, let's give it 3 rem like this. Margin bottom 3 rem. Is it proper? Yes, it is. Margin bottom 3 rem. Now, if you notice, it extends to everywhere, but here it doesn't, right? Now we can give it a text align, or we can just make it a display of flex. You see, display of flex. Then we give it a justify content of center. Comes to the center. So let's see. It works like theirs, right? It works like theirs, center. But if you notice, all of them are like equal, right? So we have this, and then this is it. We have this, but they are all equal, but this is not equal, right? Now, we are going to take the card. We're going to take the icon, which is I, this I here. So we're going to select every I inside the web page. The card, and every I inside the card. Understand? Give it a color of var yellow one. Let's see. Doesn't work. So we give it a background color by yellow one. It doesn't work. Now the reason is because there's something called, let's just inspect it so you see. Let's inspect our page. Now once we come to, let's increase this so you see what I'm trying to say. Now this is our footer, right? This is our main, right? And inside here we have these sections, and we have this card, and we have this is an SVG. Okay, this is an SVG. Now we can select this SVG here, though it is not in our markdown, but it was populated by this API here, by this library, font awesome library. Now we can select the SVG like this, give it a background color of that, or let's just give it a border. Let's know that we are getting a border 1 pixel solid red. It doesn't really select it quite well. Let's see. Um, there's a problem, right? It doesn't really select it like it should. So it selects it now. So this is the SVG, and we've given it. So let's give it a color of yellow, yellow, yellow one, like this. You see, we've gotten it the color yellow, and let's remove it. Now we can actually increase the font size of this. Let's add it a font size of 1 rem or 1.5 rem. Save. It becomes bigger, right? So we're going to use a font size of 5 rem to make it even more bigger. So mistakenly closed this. So this is it. To make it even more bigger, to match this. So this is just too big. So let's make it 3 rem. I think this is proper. Yeah. Now each element here, we're going to give it a gap in the card, a gap of 2 rem, right? A gap of 2 rem like this, gap of 2 rem, and then going to give it a padding from the left. So top, we give it no padding on the top, but left and right we give it a padding of 1 rem like this. So this is it. This is what we've gotten, and we are here, right? But it doesn't really fit what we are trying to do, right? So what we do is this: remove we will remove this display of flex and justify content center, and put a display. Okay, we can remove justify content of center and put a margin of auto. It centers it for us too. It doesn't. All right, so let's take this and give it a display here. And then, okay, let's select the card and every child in the card like this. Imagine of auto. So it should come to the center. It did, but it didn't really work as it should. Now let's give it a width of 100%, but it will have a maximum width of, let's say, 600 pixels, and save. Now let's come back here and give it a justify content of center. Let's see. Did it work? It didn't work as it should. So what is the problem? Let's see. This is our card. This is our card, right? And then, okay, wait. I think we are not supposed to do this. Supposed to be this. So we've gotten it properly. So it's supposed to be this. Supposed to be this. Then to make it align properly, we're going to select the second div here. So we do this by doing card. Select the second div. So we'll make sure it is the same. So select the second div, which is card. Then and the div that is the last child, last of type. Okay, like this. And then give it a margin right of 1 rem. Let's see, 1 rem, right? 3 rem. Let's see. It doesn't really work. I should. So let's use first of type. Now let's give it um a margin of auto. Let's see. Doesn't really work. I should work. So let's give it a border to know why. A border of 1 pixel, solid red. Let's last of type. Let's see, solid red, and it doesn't work as should. So we're going to give it a width of 100%, right? But max width of let's say 500 pixels, or let's say 400 pixels, right? But the first of type, we give it a maximum width. A first of type, give it a width of let's see, 200, maximum a width of 100%, but the maximum width of 200. So this is it. It's now what we actually planned on. We give it a maximum width of 100 pixels. It's still big, and I think we're good here. We can just increase this to 500 pixels if we want. I think we are good here. Then we can remove the border around here, and the first of type, which is this, we can give it a display of flex. Then we justify it center, push it to center. Then to push it to the center vertically, you can use align item center, and we are good here. You notice we match exactly what they have here, right? So your assignment is to just know how to move this above. So to do that, um you can use padding, negative padding or negative margin. Let's see how creative you are to do that. Negative padding or negative margin in this particular element. Now we can come over to this and remove this. We don't need it anymore. So we have this, right? Then in the second input, okay, no, in the card, we can in the card container before the whole stuff, we can actually take this div, which is the container of the card. You can say card container. Now this card container, we can card container, so we can actually give a padding bottom of let's say 3 rem or 4 rem if you want to just move this below 4 rem, and we already getting there. Okay, this should increase, it should increase like this. So let's just increase it. Let's make it a maximum width of let's say 600 pixels, 700 pixels, and then increase this 100 pixel. Let's increase this by 800 pixels and see if we get it very close to what they have. Let's see. Pretty, yeah, pretty close. Now we can toggle the width and the maximum width to know whether I can get exactly, but we've gotten it though. Now this iframe is in the center, right? So and the this is an iframe tag, right? So we can just come over here. We don't select the iframe. You can select the container of the iframe, which is can select the container of the iframe, which is how it works, right? You can just select this how it works, or can use class. I advise you use class to style. How? Let's just call it how. You can select this how and how and just text align center, and it's going to center it for us. Simple like this. Now the next is this, and we're trying to style this. So we're going to do it like the card and style all of them at once. So we're going to take this pricing. We can actually start with an ID. So let's just try it, okay? So the we're going to take so the we're going to take the so we're going to take the pricing. We can style with an ID just like I've done here. This is ID pricing. You can style with an ID. So this is the pricing, right? ID pricing. So we can actually take this pricing, which is the container, right? And give it a display of flex or block. Let's give the display of block and keep a margin of auto. This is going to push it to the center. It is. Did it? It did not. Oh, terrible. Okay, it's all right. So let's just give it a display, or let's give it a border first. So border 1 pixel solid red. I just like doing this so that I can know what I'm doing. So you can give it a width of let's say a width of 400 pixels like this, and then give it a margin of auto like this. It pushes it to the center like we've done, right? Now the how we can put a margin bottom of let's say 3 rem. It pushes it down. See, we have this already. Okay, now we can actually give this a margin bottom too of 3 rem, so it pushes everything down too, pushes the footer down, and we have this, right? Now the pricing has a divs inside. Pricing has, this is the first div, this is the second div, this is the we have the third div. Now we can actually select each div inside the price and like doing the first divs, the first layer of div like this. And give it a we can give it a um we can give it a let's see, okay, can make it text align center to text align center like this. Everything comes to the center, right? So we um take can actually take these and okay, let's remove this first. You can take these and give it a border of 1 pixel solid red, and then give it a margin button of 1 frame. So this is what we have, right? Now we're going to give it a padding of 2 frame from the bottom to the top to the left and the right like this, and we have almost this. So we can actually give it a we can reduce this to 300. We don't really need it to very long, and we have this. Now we can make it a bit longer. So the tenor, okay, we have 3 RAM here. The pricing, the margin, the 2 RAM, right? Top and bottom, we don't really need it to be that big. So for the top, you can come over here, padding top, you can just reduce it to 0.5 gram like this. So we have this. Now the H1 is different, H3 here. We can select the H3s here like this, doing this, or the H3 here in the page, in the under this pricing div and the H3. Can give it a border and get a background color of gray let's use gray, so you know you can still use normal colors for it like this. See, you can do that. You can actually add a padding of 0 to it. See, or you can, yeah, you can do that, and think will be good. Okay, so we can give it a width of 100%. Let's see, doesn't really work, so let's take away this padding and know what's happening here. So this is the problem here, right? As you can see, so a height of 100 pixel. So let's give it a padding top, a margin top of 0. Now a padding top of 0. You can do this, right? So if you don't want to do this, we can give it a height of 100%. Let's see. It doesn't really work as we wanted it to. So now what we can do, we can add a negative padding here like this. If we want to, can add a negative padding of 0.5 frame like this. It works very well. And you can add a padding of 1 frame top and bottom. It works very well, as you can see. It works very well. So you can actually reduce the gray and reduce it a bit. So you can do this, and then the next thing is just to the bold. We can take the bold here the same way we've selected the H3. We can select the B tag, which is for the price. You can put the font weight of 600 and font size of 1.3 rem. It's a bit bigger. We'll select every bold 1.3 rem, or yeah, I think 1.4 rem is proper. Then we can select the P tag just like we've done. The P tag can add a font size of 1.1 rem like this. We have this. Now we can select the button in it. every button inside it like this, and do this. You can add a margin, of 2 rem top and bottom like this. You can add a padding of 0.7 rem. Save, you have this. Then left and right 1 rem, you have this. Is it proper? Okay. Then font size of 1.2 rem, and save. And I think we are good here. Okay, I think we are good here. Let's just reduce this to 1.4 rem. I think we are good. Then add a background color of yellow. Let's use the yellow we have, yellow, and then remove the border if you want, or set another border if you want. So border of none, and save. Now we have this already, and then can now go above. Instead of setting this to red, we can set it to gray. This gray here, you know how I told you about variables, you can still do that, but just going to do this now. So this is it, and you can do this just like they have done here. So you can use, let's just use black. I think black is just the appropriate thing to do. Let's just use black and we are good. So the next is to style this. So you can just take our footer, select our footer using the name footer. Just put text align. You can just set it to right. Let's set it to right. So it pushes it to the right. Right. Text align right. Save. It pushes it to the right, and we are good. Simple. Just that. Yes. That just that. Can even add a background color of gray. Background color of gray. Of this. Let's select the gray. This is the gray, right? Let's just select this gray, and you can use var if you want. Select gray, and we have it here. Add a padding top of 2 rem, and left and right of 1 rem, and we are good. We have the page ready. Okay, it's too big. Let's make it okay. Let's leave it at 1 rem for the left and right, and we are good. Okay, so congratulations, you have built your first website. So what we're going to do now is to, you see, it looks very similar to what we have here. Looks very similar to what we have here, right? Looks very similar. You built your first website. So let's see if we can go to what's it called? This website called Replit. Replit. Let's go to Replit, and I'm going to copy out the code we've written and use Replit. Let's create a new page, and we create, so you can share it with your friends and your friends. Select HTML, and can call it landing page, and save. You can create the Replit, and I'll come over here, copy out our HTML, copy this out, and copy it out, and come over here and paste. It has not created. Okay, so that's not really created. So okay, it's loading. So I'm going to come over here and select everything, remove it, then paste a new page. Then instead of style.css, I'm going to call it our art.css. I think that's the name we called it. Yeah, our art.css, and come over here and copy everything out and paste it here, art.css, and then we can run it, right? Now the next is to copy the image, which is this image here, and paste it. So what we're going to how we're going to do that? We're going to go to here, we're going to come over here and add a file, right? Let's see if we can add a file. Upload a file. Yes, you can upload a file. So I'm going to come over to here. We call this first HTML website, right? Select the original, paste it here. We have uploaded it, right? This is the file. There's a file here. So once we run this, and you can take this and open in a new tab, and we can share this page with everybody, with any one of our friends, to tell them that hey, this is our first product. So please, once you've done it today, just send your link from here. This is your first website, and share with me. You can put it in your portfolio, and this is your first website. Congratulations, and thank you. So if you enjoyed this course, enjoy this tutorial, simplified tutorial like this, you can hit the subscribe button, you can hit the like button, and come back for more. Thank you.